Four people enjoying a glass of wine together, brought together by the wine they're enjoying, in a vineyard that's odds-on to be a firm favourite among English wine connoisseurs, because Yotes Court Vineyard is now producing sustainable wines of the very highest quality.
I have always enjoyed drinking wine, and I never thought I'd be a farmer. I never saw myself in wine production at all, but the site, it just became obvious that it was an exceptional site, and the first couple of harvests were amazing, produced amazing fruit, and I kind of thought, well, you know, we should just develop that into our own wine production for our own label. So yeah, 4 years later, we've got some wine.
They grow 4 varieties of grape here: Bacchus, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Meunier and Pinot Gris. And the vines are all expertly tended by New Zealander Tony Purdie.
Yeah, we're just at the start of the season, so therefore we've got some young buds, some young shoots coming away. At this stage they're waiting for a bit of sun to really start to develop, but they've gone through that initial bud burst without any frost issues. So therefore you can see how the shoots are starting to develop with a few unfolded leaves. And those inflorescence, potential bunches, are now starting to show through, which are obviously the crop that we're going to nurture through to the final product.
Excellent.
Tony is really the champion of sustainability, and coming over from New Zealand, where sustainability is the way they grow their grapes there. So he fundamentally the methods that we use here. Every decision that we make has the impact on the environment, on the land, is paramount. That's just fundamentally it. I mean, every decision has that sort of respect for the land and for the environment.
The site faces southeast on Kentish ragstone and chalk and provides the perfect setting for growing vines.
If the soils are lean but still have enough nutrient there to produce a good quality canopy and a good quality crop, the least amount of moisture retained in the soil, if you've got some good free draining soils with enough fertility there to keep them going, then that's ideal for grapevines. That way you don't have to manage them too hard, they'll basically manage themselves.
After such a cold spring, the vines are 3 weeks behind where they were last year, but there's still plenty of work to be done, whatever the weather, to ensure that this year's crop will come up to standard. Although they've been growing grapes here for other producers since 2016, this year Yotes Court have gone a step further and created 4 wines of their own, each with a cheeky nod to the other passion in Susannah's life, horse racing.
I thought it'd be fun to link the labels and the names of the wines to my sort of horse racing interests. So we've got the Bacchus is called On the Bridle, and we've got the Pinot Blanc called Hands and Heels, and both of those terms kind of refer to a lot of hard work to make something enjoyable and fun, and that kind of reflects our wines. And then we've also got On the Nod, which is basically an exciting finish. And then finally we've got Best Turned Out, which is our Pinot Meunier Rosé, which is gorgeous to look at and delicious to taste.
In keeping with their sustainable ethos, the winemakers who have created and bottled the Yotes Court vintages are locally based, minimising their carbon footprint.
It's been great making wine for Yotes Court, particularly because we are both one of the first vineyards and wineries respectively to get accreditation by WineGB, the sector body in the UK, for their new sustainability scheme. And I think it means a lot to both of us to produce sustainable wine. So this is fantastic that these are some of the first sustainable wines to be made in England.
And do you like them?
Oh yeah, they're fantastic, yeah. Tastes great.
Scott Gebby, meanwhile, created the Pinot Blanc Hands and Heels and Bacchus On the Bridle at his winery just 2 miles from the vineyard in Merriworth.
It's gone fantastically. This was a great vintage to begin with. We were lucky enough to have perfect maturity. Tony delivered the grapes in excellent quality. The goal here really was to make 2 wines that were different in style, because depending on what we do in the winery, we could make them very similar, but we've made 2 wines that are quite contrasting. On one hand, we've got the Bacchus, which is very clean, crisp, acidic and refreshing. And then we've got a Pinot Blanc, which is rounder, smoother, more foody, with a touch of oak. And so they're great, but for different reasons and for different occasions.
While the whole project has taken years to reach this stage, remarkably, it's something Susannah says came about almost by accident.
I can't quite believe it, really. It's not where I ever thought I would be. I'm an accountant, for goodness sake. But I just love the biology of it. I love the seasons. Just I think it's just sort of grounded me so much more in nature and in this location, which I just love.
Available now, Yotes Court wines are made to be enjoyed. They're good on the nose and finish strongly, and you'd have to be blinkered not to appreciate just how good they are.